Let me talk to you. Yeah. Shut up, I'm talking.
Nobody ever called me out on it. I didn't notice that I had a hot temper until I got with Jeezy. And here's a person who is my equal and I really respect. And when I would spew some of my old habits, and he was like, like, who, that's not flying here. And also, it would trigger him to come back at me with things where I was like, who the f do you think you are? But I was triggering him. But he never told me to fix my temper. I just saw it and I thought, unless I want to stay in this place where I lose this person I love and I stay in my comfort zone of doing what I want to do and function the way I have for the last 40 years when nobody else had to stop me.
Which obviously has done quite well for you.
Right, I could have. But this was something greater that I wanted. And also a great challenge to myself to say, what if, now that I know it exists and the dragon's there, what if I got rid of that? How do I kill that dragon or store it in its place so that it never creates havoc in it?
What up, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Now check this out. Jeannie Mae and Jeezy headed for divorce. Now, in this clip, it needs to be understood that she knows that she has a temper. But yet and still, she's went through relationship after relationship with no one checking her on this temper. Now, couldn't she have just slowed her temper? Couldn't she have just toned it down? Couldn't she have just fixed it? But it seems like she didn't respect these men that she was dating prior to Jeezy. And on that note, I'm not even sure if she really respected Jeezy either, because why are you still calling him Jeezy? You should be calling your man by his government name. Now, you don't have to say his full name, but you should be calling him by his first name, not Jeezy, out of respect for him. We can already tell from past relationships all the way up to him that you didn't have respect for him, as well as other dudes in the past now. But you're calling him Jeezy. Call him by his name. We call him Jeezy. You can say his name. It sounds more respectful to the man that you're with. And furthermore, you having an attitude, bringing it to the new relationship as you brought down through the others, knowing that you have this attitude, now he has to check you on it, but you still looking at him like, you know, who you think you are? A man that knows who he is. That's who he is. And he's checking you at the door with your attitude. Now, you know, these other dudes clearly didn't have the, whatever word you want to use, to stop her in her tracks, but Jeezy did. Shout outs to him. But women will call that narcissism. When a man stands up for himself and tells a woman about herself. No, that's a man knowing his worth and knowing what he likes and what he dislikes. Now for her, knowing she has this attitude, not wanting to curb it, not being checked for it, and you gonna tell me really, in this whole relationship of 2 years, he never told you about your attitude? I find that hard to believe. Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't tell you about changing your attitude? You just finally figured it out all of a sudden and decided you want to change it because you love and have feelings for this man? Right. Makes perfect sense to me. And furthermore, with these comments and these trolls out here talking about, oh, her race comes into play when it comes to dating and all sorts of other racial dynamics when it comes to Jeezy and her. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube world, understand this. Doesn't matter what her race is. What matters is she still acted in a manner that was not conducive for her to be in a decent relationship. Now, we don't know if he got fed up. I mean, if you have to keep checking a person on their attitude and on things that they do, after a while you will get fed up. So him taking the initial steps to get a divorce, you know, you gotta applaud that man. he knows what he had to do. He couldn't take it no more. He went for divorce. Maybe they both decided, let's get a divorce. Whatever the case may be. Obviously, it was necessary for him to do it. And people are out here making comments about him, saying that he's a narcissist. I guess that Love and Hip Hop really gets to the soul when people watch these damn shows. But listen to this woman and her comments on Jeezy, and then we'll talk about that too.
So, how many of y'all have heard the news already about Mr. Jeezy and Miss Jeannie Mai? The divorce. And apparently he filed. And I am not surprised. I saw this coming. And I'm sure she was warned by her black friends not to go through with this. But here we are. She says she wanted her white meat, or she liked her white meat with her dark meat on the side. And like an idiot, she decided to make her dark meat her main course. But as Cynthia G states so many times, y'all get the same Negro. There's no extra Negro, different Negro, that you can pull out the bag. Y'all gonna get the same Negro. He's the same black man. He's not any different because you are lighter skinned or a different race. It's the same Negro. And if you ask me, he's always been a little bit narcissistic, ego-driven. And he basically made Jeannie Mai do exactly what she said she wasn't going to do for him. For his ego. She said that she would never have kids. She ain't want none. What'd she do? 1 year in. Have a baby for him. Because y'all know how the black men are with their baby mama issues and power dynamic. That makes them feel powerful because they can fertilize some shit. And then walk off. But yeah, saw it coming. Here we are. Next time you should probably keep your dark meat on the side, Jeannie Mai. And you wouldn't have these problems. Welcome to the Baby Mama Club.
See, it's some women like this that really don't need to be speaking on the internet. Okay, so, yes, there was a point in time when Jeannie Mai said that she liked her white meat, but keep her black meat on the side, dark meat on the side. But clearly, she liked her dark meat. It is what it is. But furthermore, that's not even the point. The whole point here is, why are you acting like you know him to be a narcissist? Like you know him, like you grew up with him and you always known him to be this type of dude. And the word narcissist always seems to come out of certain women's mouth when a man says something to a woman about him not liking something. But when you flip it, you don't usually hear that word being associated with women, even though women are always telling men. Some women are always telling men, gotta specify that. Some women are always telling men about themselves. But we don't call y'all a narcissist, even though it's probably narcissistic attitude that you have. But okay, whatever. But in any event, the man got tired of whatever he got tired of, probably. Because you shouldn't have to check somebody all the time for their behavior. And he decided, that was it. And as for the Baby Mama Club, listen, it ain't got nothing to prove power over a woman by getting her pregnant and shooting up the club. No, that has nothing to do with it, and I don't know why she said it. And she sounded ridiculous even saying that. He probably wanted a kid. If she didn't want a kid, she wouldn't have had a kid. Plain and simple. Nothing to prove. Nothing to say, yeah, I made her do what she said she wasn't going to do. Stop it. Yeah, women, sometimes some young women need to just take it easy and stop commenting on all sorts of things that don't need a comment. And some of you fellas too. I know some of you fellas like to side with the ladies on certain topics, and you gotta look at you sideways like, really? Like really? Like, you're sounding real funny right now yourself. So some of you women, some of you guys, take it easy. That man knew what he was doing in his relationship, and he took the steps to have to get out of it, because it got to a point where I guess it was, no more tolerable. No more, not the word tolerable, I shouldn't say tolerable, but, he couldn't take it anymore. That's it. Bottom line. Are we trying to make all this extra stuff out of it? I don't know. But reality and fantasy are two different things, and sometimes in certain people's worlds, they get mixed up. But in any event, women are out here celebrating divorce and celebrating it in a fashion that doesn't even make any sense, because it's like an epidemic now, and women are celebrating this epidemic of divorce. And most of the time, it's women making the move towards divorce, but now since he's making a move towards divorce, now there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong. Well, there was something wrong in the relationship that made him want to get a divorce, but other than that, there's nothing wrong with a man taking that initiative. He got to that point. He knows who he is. You gotta make that walk. That's it. No more, no less. Let's stop making more out of it than it has to be. He got fed up. He got tired. He took the initial step, and now he's out.
My nigga.